was at a point in my life where I thought, I have to have an Escort Cosworth. If you almost die, then you want to do a lot of things. I didn't buy it for value. I bought it to drive. I wasn't getting enough out of road cars. So I thought I could buy a rally car, I can use it on the road, and I'm in Colin McRae's rally car. So I thought, right, I'm gonna have to get around this because I really want this car and I don't care about the kitchen.
Good evening, I'm here with Richard from Challenge the Road, and this video is going to be in the style of lots of other YouTubers who make videos sort of a one man's car collection, and I want to talk to Richard about what's in his car collection and more importantly why each car is here. So I'll flip the camera around and Rich can tell us first about this Golf. So I think we've got 15 cars in the barn. It's a barn find collection. First up, the Golf GTi. So tell us about the Golf.
The Golf GTi I purchased not that long ago, probably about 6-8 months ago.
Yeah.
But my mum had one.
Yeah.
And she had a white one. I think she had a 16 valve because it had a bigger bumper. So I think the Mark II, but I couldn't find one.
Right.
And I ended up with the 8 valve GTi. It was a local guy to me. So he was only just up the road and it was one owner. And I had a feeling that with this classic car rule of 40 years, that these might go up a little bit in value.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to drive one because at the time I had never driven one, I was too young. And now I'm probably going to keep it because we went out in it the other day and I drove it and I really liked it. So I don't know what to do with this car now, apart from I'm probably just going to enjoy it. It's quite low mileage, 60,000 miles, I say, one owner. But I also want to take my mum out in it.
Yeah.
Because it was her car.
Yeah. There's something special about doing your parents' vehicle, and that's why a lot of people are in classic cars, isn't it? Because we're into cars because of the cars that we had when we were growing up.
And the same with the Celica GT4. I know I just sold that, but my dad had one. He let me drive it when I was 18, and I loved that car. But it's just like, as you see here, as we go around, I'm struggling with room.
Yes.
So I'm trying to, and obviously I seem to have a bit of an obsession with buying cars, and I'm trying to sell some to make a bit of room. And when you said 15, I thought I only had 12 in there.
So from this hot hatch, let's go over to the Clio. And
Clio, yeah.
By the time this video goes out, our review of the Clio and my review of the Clio will be up. But so there's not a huge amount to say about this. I was blown away by just how good and usable it was. What a car.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at buying one of these for probably about 10 years. I thought the Phase 1 might be the car to have because it was the first one. A bit like a Clio Williams, something like the first one, the original car. But actually the Phase 2 is the one to have.
Yeah.
But I was looking back then, probably around 15. But obviously they've gone up a lot since then, as these cars have. And I can see why now.
Yes.
on driving the car, even though I've, had to pay a lot more than 15, 18 because they've increased a lot, I feel that you can really enjoy it and it's probably not going to drop in value even though you're paying more. And I have really enjoyed it. And the cars and coffee events I've been to lately, when someone turned up in this, and this is actually the guy I know who went to the last Cars and Coffee I bought it from, I thought this is cooler than a Ferrari.
Yeah.
And I want it.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. And then he decided to sell it and I got it.
I'm going to see if I can persuade you to buy that yellow one that you sent me the other day.
Yeah. Well, it was quite a rare colour. And also this is black gold.
Okay.
So in the Fleck, there's a really nice gold in it, which, to tell the truth, I didn't look into that deeply at the time, but it is really, really cool in the sunlight.
The thing is as well, if you're buying a V6 Clio, you don't have loads of choice. There's not loads and loads of them for sale, especially with the lower mileages as well.
So at the moment there's one on Auto Trader that's a Phase 2, which is quite a low miles one, which I looked at as well, but the problem is it was like 9,700 miles, and I thought, if I buy one like that, I might not drive it.
Yeah.
So when it's 30,000,
yeah,
as we go on to other cars, I could use them.
Yes.
Because it's not a value thing. I just want to enjoy it.
Yeah, I can see.
And I sure enjoy it.
I just can't believe how much fun it was. It was just absolutely fantastic, very balanced. And you'll see from my video, I thought it was going to be wild and more unpredictable, but no, what a planted car.
Nice ride. I love the back of the car. It's really built out.
Now this one, this is a bit of a project hobby.
Yeah, so obviously I started with the CTR Vantages in the Astons, and then I really liked the 997 as a shape.
Yeah.
And I had a 993 that had a lot spent on it. I think it was 60,000 had spent on it.
Yeah.
And I actually paid 60,000 for the car. But the 993, I found it, for me to drive, it was like a Sunday blast car.
Yeah.
It was quite awkward because offset pedals and my hip, and I thought maybe I'll go 997, and I'm glad I have. I actually purchased this from Collecting Cars.
Yeah.
And it was called a CSR. So it had KW suspension, a lot done, carbon ducktail, which is really nice. And then I upgraded the lights to like 991. These are like classic Porsche lights. And I think it's fantastic value, and I love it to drive. So at the moment, I think this owes me done about 42, and it's 70,000 miles.
Yeah.
And I love the colour. Forged wheels. Changed the calipers to this colour. Put like a little, changed the fan so it's the colour of the brakes. And yeah, I love this, and I feel. Well, I've actually had someone call me to say they want me to make a CTR 997.
Yeah.
They had a problem with the engine, bore score, and it's held suppressed the value. So probably you could buy these for 18,000 now.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of putting a 4 litre in it.
Yeah.
So just disregard it having a bore score problem. Put a 4 litre in. What a car!
So we could see a small run of CTR 911s with a ducktail spoiler and the right wheels.
I'd love to do that. Yeah. I love doing these cars because for me, I love the modifying and changing, and because it felt like it was mine.
Yes.
So even though this was done as a CSR, I changed the wheels.
Yeah.
I put forged on. I changed the colour of the calipers because that's arena red, so it's a Porsche colour.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that one's still here. I'd like to drive that a bit more.
It's one of my favourites in here, and it's on the low end of values, relatively speaking, isn't it? So it's a great looking car.
I think the key for me is like Apple CarPlay.
Yeah.
New tyres, Michelin's, good suspension. So you're making these old cars up to scratch.
Yeah.
Like when you drive it, there's no problem with handling. Say you've got your WhatsApp and whatever. So you've almost like brought it back to being totally modern.
Yeah.
For not a huge amount in terms of. So a new 911, I went down to Porsche Tunbridge, there's a 911, I think it's a Carrera S, it's 150,000.
Yeah.
This is 40,000. I'd rather have this.
But it's got the cars and coffee appeal, which is what we discussed with the Clio as well, because it's slightly custom. People are going, oh, that's interesting.
And they're so solid. You shut these doors, it's like boom. You know, 992, it has the funny handles, and actually they've kept these handles actually for the GT cars.
Yeah.
But the new ones have got this different design, and also you can think about doing different things, like you might do a different inlay in the seats, or you're always tinkering. I think people sell cars because they get a bit bored.
Yeah.
But there's actually nothing wrong with the car. You maybe just tinker with it a bit more.
Yeah. So over to some rally cars. You love rally cars.
Oh yeah.
Where did your rally connection come from? Where does your love of rally cars come from?
We had a house in Brecon,
in
Wales, that my dad used to visit a lot, and my cousins are there. And of course, that's right next to the RSE. So I would go with my dad and watch the rallying, whether that was, Colin, McRae, Science, all these people, and that just made me like, I just have to have them cars. So this was a 40th birthday present for me, and this is where I started collecting. So this is the first car I thought, I'm going to collect cars.
Yeah.
Because I never wanted to sell it. And that's, this isn't actually Kankinen's car, but it did drive in the Portugal Rally with a privateer. It's a Group N, Group A. I was using it on the road a lot. Yeah. Till it started going wrong.
Right.
And I've just got it back after 3 years running now. But it's, I think I spoke before about, I drove an F40, but this is better to drive than an F40. It doesn't matter what anyone says. It's better to drive. Yeah. It's like a fly. The steering and the whole, and if I took someone out in it, it's like you've gone to Alton Towers 4 times. It's just unbelievable. I remember when I bought it, I took my sister out. She said she didn't sleep for 3 days. She said, "Richard, my head, I can't concentrate." It's like because you're rattling and and it's such a short wheel. And then look at the arches on here, amazing, and it's iconic. And we saw my other white road one as well, didn't we?
Yes, yeah, I could drop a photo of that in as well. So, and that became your thing then, didn't it? Have one rally car and one road car of each of the...
Yeah, just something a bit different. I just thought if I have the road and rally, because obviously I would look at these driving round and then go, right, I want the road one, which leads to like the Cosworth, where
Yes.
you think I want the road car, you know.
Yeah.
But obviously at the time I couldn't afford them. And these were only left-hand drive as well.
Yeah.
So that put me off a little bit at the time.
Yeah. Well, let's do Cosworth then. So we've done a lot on Cosworth.
200,000 to you, Geoff. 199 to you.
No, they'll never make it that. So we were discussing at the NEC about leather or not, and we both kind of agreed that cloth was the way to go. So this is a petrol blue car with cloth, low mileage.
Yeah.
I think the Escort Cosworth is everyone's dream car at a certain age.
I think it's quite interesting how I bought these. Now, I was going fishing with a friend, and I was at a point in my life where I thought I have to have an Escort Cosworth. I went to buy one and lost my deposit and ended up in a diesel Escort, and there's lots of stories. I go back on my channel, but there's lots of stories about this, and I just thought, and I said to him, I'm going to buy a bloody Escort Cosworth because I have to, it's my dream car, and I ended up buying both of them at the lake within an hour.
Yeah.
So I went on and I just thought I'm going to bite the bullet because
So
they kept going up in value.
So you're sat fishing on your phone, trying to catch fish, nothing's biting, so you think I'll buy two Escort Cosworths.
And I bought two.
Yeah.
You know, so I ended up with the rally one and this one. Now this one, about 28,000 miles, so again, I can use that car. There's no problem with the mileage, is there? You know, It's not like it's 2,000. Like we were talking about, wasn't it?
You know, so long as it stays under 40, then you're okay really on what it's going to be. And obviously we just had that big auction, £200,000 for a 2,000 mile car. It's going to have a knock-on effect, isn't it?
Well, also we were saying you couldn't drive it.
No.
Really?
No, you can't.
Because you've paid 200,000, so could you drive it? Quite a rare colour.
Yeah.
Petrol blue. We were talking about seats, but I really wanted the leather seats, but now I really like the cloth.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. So it's a luxe version.
Yeah.
But with cloth.
Yeah.
And you had a choice, and you got sunroof, and I really like this car. I really like driving this car. You know, I think when I drive it, I just feel like complete. It's a weird thing, but I just feel like this was my dream when I was like 18, 19, and to put a deposit on one and not get it because the insurance was too high, and then lose the deposit and then have to get a 1.6.
So the rally one then, it's got 1,000 Lakes Neste Rally on it. So
so this car wasn't in this colours when I got it. So basically, same day fishing, I looked up and it said a rally car because I'm trying to get the rally collection on. So I thought, if I buy the road one, I now got maths very good. You know, you think, well, if I buy the road one, I've got to get the rally. So this would have been like Auto Trader, and this would have been rallycars.net. Yeah. So that's the one I used to go on. Found the car, and then Stuart, who I've met through the Subarus, was Colin McRae's engineer there. He was chief engineer for all the world champions there, and he went and collected it for me, and he said, Richard, you've collected a podium car. Wow. And I'm like, what? He said, you've doubled your value. I said, what is it? Is it the number plate? Is it? He said, no, it's not the number plate, it's the chassis. Yeah. Because this finished third at the 1,000 Lakes Rally by Jarmo Kytölehto. Yeah. And it pushed Malcolm Wilson to have the Ford Motorsport contract. Right. So this is a very special car.
So this is pre-factory teams.
Yeah, so it would have been like 1993.
Yeah.
So then I thought, right, okay, probably can't drive this one really, isn't it? I've got my first ever podium car by fluke. Yeah. And I sometimes, get a bit of luck. But, and yeah, I love the colours. I love the Escort Cosworth, and to have them both together is just a bit of a dream. Yeah. Really. And it's nice sitting in there with all the carbon. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, what's the value of this now? So if that's 200, like we were saying, wasn't we? This can't be 200 then, because that was last sort of valued at. Because you can't have a podium Escort Cosworth at the same value as a road one. That doesn't happen. So I think this went up, but then was that a bit of a blip in the market? We're
looking forward to finding out. The next time a low miler comes up and goes through auction, then we'll know, won't we? We will be keeping an eye on it now to see what happens. And then obviously key competitor to the Escort was the Subaru. And you've had...
so the Subaru has been a bit of a dramatic car for me, because obviously I've had some huge accidents in them, which we're going to do on another video.
We'll cover that in a video, but I will drop...
know.
If you send me the photo, I'll drop the photo in here. Yeah. And you were very mentally impacted by that, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean...
You don't like going in straight lines anymore.
Well, I don't even like talking about it too much.
Really?
Do you know, so it's, it's a pretty huge accident.
Yeah.
But obviously, I still have a deep love for Subaru, Colin McRae, and everything about that era. So obviously, I went back to buying more 22Bs, even though the last time I was in one, I was coming out of a hedge.
Yeah.
So it's but in some ways, it was like a way of me overcoming that.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, you can't look back in the past to shape your future.
Yeah.
So I had to sort of think, well, and obviously when I do go out in them, I still feel edgy because they can get away from you. They want you, they egg you on. I've always said in my videos, I said it's like having a dog on a lead, and it's pulling you, and it just keeps going, come on, let's go a bit quicker, let's go a bit
There's certain cars, aren't there, that want you to drive them.
Yeah.
Not all cars do that, but there are some that do.
And so I've ended up with this 22B, which is one of the lowest mileage in the world, 5,000 miles.
Yeah.
And I've had lots of offers on this car, but I don't know. It's really difficult because obviously I want to put it with the Subaru.
Yeah.
And I have to sort of disengage my brain sometimes and think, Richard, it's not about money or unless... And I do sell stuff because I need the money sometimes, but I try not to.
Yeah.
If I could, I'd have all of them, but I'm trying to... I've only got limited space and things.
I think it's a good job you've only got the one unit at the moment. Because if you had more space, then...
it would be a bit crazy.
It would be a bit crazy. Talk to us about this one then. So this is your rally one?
Yeah, so this is like my dream car. 1999 Subaru Impreza S5 manual. Was originally in left-hand drive, went to right-hand drive. All rally cars that went to Ireland went to right-hand drive. I turned it back to left with Stuart, the WRC guy. And I mean, I've driven it on the road. It was very difficult, and I get a lot of comments about that, saying, Richard, you drove it really slow, but I didn't have any dash.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see anything in the, because I hadn't done the mirrors.
Yeah.
You get in this and you strap yourself in and you're done. And I just was a bit freaked out, to tell the truth, because you're driving a car that Richard Burns, Makkinen and that has driven.
Yeah.
And you're driving it past your local newsagent.
Yes.
With a sequential box and
there's kind of not much point trying to be those drivers because you're not those drivers. They've already done it to its optimum.
Exactly. And I've had this, I had this actually resprayed, put back to exactly as I wanted it. It's one of the cleanest ones. It's incredible in there. The carbon is immense. And is it one of my favourite? I don't know. It's really, really difficult.
I'm going to put you on the spot at the end, and you're going to have to choose one.
Oh, that's going to be a bit tough. But yeah, the blue and gold I love as well with Subaru.
Yeah. And then you got this jalopy.
Yeah, I mean, this again, a little bit fluky, I suppose, but obviously I'd done well with some of the cars value-wise, and I was trying to think, could I do something in a bigger way? And I felt that the McLaren P1 was undervalued.
Yeah.
But it's still over £1 million, which is quite a lot of money, obviously.
Yeah.
A huge amount. And I do remember buying it thinking, what an idiot, why are you spending...
Did you have that feeling in the pit of your stomach when you'd done the deal? Was there...
I had that with the Clio. With any car, I feel like I've paid too much.
Yeah.
I have this fear, I've paid too much. And I've been proved right.
Yeah.
In the last... But it's taken time. It's only in the last... Since the W1 come out, these have gone up.
Yeah.
So all the time you're holding an asset, thinking... I'd love to have enough money to think I could just use it.
Yeah.
But then whenever I go out on the road in these cars, I'd prefer to be in the Subaru or the Clio.
Yes.
So I don't understand them on the road, and that's not me being, it's just that they're so fast and they're so, you're thinking, I think this is 5.3 to 100.
Yeah, it's a different world of speed, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's no there's no real enjoyment from that because you're on the road.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind taking it on a track.
Yeah.
Maybe like Silverstone or something. But then again, what do I gain? I'd rather, if I'm on a track, I'd probably rather be in a race car or
Yeah.
Porsche. So this is the only carbon purple McLaren in the world.
Yeah.
It has crystals in the paint. It looks like 3 different cars. I mean, I know when you come in, first of all, you went, wow.
I probably spent 10 minutes just looking at the car. And the paint, it's very hard to get the paint to come across on camera, but you said to me as well, didn't the original owner wanted crushed diamonds in the paint?
And they couldn't do it.
They couldn't get it to go through the paint gun.
I think these are either some sort of crystal or something in the paint. I'm still waiting for the guy from McLaren to tell me what he done.
Yeah.
This is under the lacquer, which is quite incredible. So I think that was a huge option from there. And I've still got the original yellow body, which Tavares come over and I said he wanted to look at purchasing the yellow body. So this was originally a yellow car.
Yeah.
I then was able to buy the purple body in 5 pieces.
Yeah.
And it's the only way you could do it because McLaren, I think they only made 1 or 2 cars that were originally carbon fibre exposed.
Yeah.
You had to take the body off and then put this on. I wouldn't say I'm, it's difficult because probably people look at it and think, well, obviously it's the P1 and that. But at the time I wasn't that into these cars because I didn't think I'd ever be able to afford them.
Yeah.
So when something's unattainable, I don't get that. I don't have much interest in it,
Yes.
if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But I'm getting more interested in it now. And it's nice. What I feel proud about is when you've got something no one else can have.
Yeah.
Does that sound so I like the idea, like if someone's into rallying or something and I can, be able to say, do you want to see Colin McRae's car or something like that?
Yeah.
I like that. And it's like with this, if I don't want to sell this, then you can't buy another one and I don't care who you are.
Yeah, this is the only one in carbon purple in the world.
Yeah.
In the world.
So I quite like that because I'm the custodian of a car that is one of one.
That's right.
And when I go to shows, it's nice because they probably think he can't be the owner of that car. But I know that.
That's right. And with putting your collection now in this clubhouse, people are going to be able to see it, which is
I love it. Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, my nephews and that come in and they see that and see the Sims, and it's a nice feeling.
So, Focus, Colin McRae's actual Ford Focus.
Yeah, again, this is, all these cars have got stories and things. So I bought the Subaru WRC and this on the same day.
Were you fishing? Or?
No, I was actually at my computer at home and I bought the Subaru. But you've got to remember back then, I mean, we're not going to try and go into values today, but these were a lot less than they were.
Yes.
So I got the Subaru, but I always wanted a McRae car.
Do you feel that at the time they were massively undervalued then when you bought them?
Massively.
Yeah.
But I didn't buy it for value. I bought it to drive. I wasn't getting enough out of road cars. So I thought I could buy a rally car. I can use it on the road because it's got MOT and tax. And I'm in Colin McRae's rally car. Do you see? So that was my thinking. The only thing was I didn't realise how complicated they were and how intimidating they were.
Yes.
So
until you get up close, you don't realise the carbon doors, for example. You can't.
And carbon fire extinguisher.
Exactly.
Everything.
You can't appreciate all of that. But when we were looking at this car the other day as well, you were saying the front end the bonnet is steel because they have to keep the weight up. Yeah. So they build them extreme.
A lot of the parts are really heavy and a lot of the parts are really light.
So they build them really light and then have to bring the weight up to reach the standards, which is fascinating.
And then this one come up that evening, literally that evening on that rallycars.net, which is a good website.
Yeah.
And I think, okay, so I've going to pay for the Subaru and I want this one, but I haven't got the money.
Yeah.
But we was going to be doing a new kitchen.
Right.
And I thought, and this is sort of how much it was. So this was about as much as doing the kitchen.
Yeah.
At the time. So I thought, I'm going to have to get around this because I really want this car and I don't care about the kitchen. So I went in and saw my wife and sat down and I said, why don't we do the kitchen a bit later and just get used to this one. And she said, yep. And I went, boom, straight back in, bye. And I got the car. And then I met David Bogie had the car. He was a 5-time Scottish champion in this car.
Yeah.
And he restored it. This is by Ford, to the original colours, because it was in orange when he had it in his logos. The guy come out of retirement who originally put these stickers on for the Catalonia Rally. And the best thing I like, which probably wasn't picked up enough, is that this was the front of PlayStation, the registration.
Yeah, so this car was on the front of Colin McRae Rally.
Yes.
This actual car. Now that's very cool.
So,
and again, for a whole generation of people, that is so iconic. And PlayStation game cars gaining value is something that we're starting to see, because we discussed this with the Skyline GTR as well, from Gran Turismo and then from Fast and Furious.
And if you were thinking, like, if I was the designer of that game, if I could buy the car that was on the game, how valuable is that to PlayStation? So but as I say, I wasn't overly in it originally to make money. It wasn't the thing that they just appreciated. And quicker than I thought. And then I thought, crikey, I need to buy now, otherwise I won't be able to afford them. That's what my mind kept going. So
because we said before in another video, it was never about the growth or the money. It was you had one car.
I wanted these cars, but I didn't want to pay what you'd pay for them now. If you see what I mean. Like if you have to pay 5-10 times, you feel a bit like, oh, not now, But I also know that this isn't ever going to go down.
No.
So
and then you've got an MR2 kit car.
Yeah, we've got this little Lamborghini I got. Again, really strange purchase. I saw VVS a lot. VVS cars in Goudhurst. They're Lamborghini Murcielago specialist, and these were not selling. So this car had been there about a year.
Really?
I remembered Richard Hammond's video.
Yeah.
It wasn't overly a car that interested me.
So what is it? It's a Murcielago.
It's a Murcielago LP 670-4.
Yeah.
So it's a super veloce version, very rare. And it was only sort of after I bought it, because I said to them, which cars do you think are appreciating? And he said, I think if you buy this, it will go up in value.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'll get it. But he said it's really good to drive. And I'm like, yeah. Drove it, thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It only got 3,000 miles from new, and it was going to have to go to auction. I then drove it, really loved it, and then I started to realise that it's very rare.
Right.
Like 6 UK cars.
Yeah.
4 left. So, right. None under 10,000 miles apart from this one.
Where did the 2 go? Crashed?
One crashed straight away on a car thing, because they were very sketchy in the rain.
Right.
And you had coarser, old tyres.
Yeah.
Well, not old, but and that's funny because the tyres are still the same tyre. I can't buy a new Michelin for this. I have to put the same coursers from 14 years ago. And then it's one of those cars that just keeps appreciating. I keep getting offers and more. And I don't really know what to do, because I do really like the car and I can't get another one. And in America, they've gone really crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a manual SV just sold for over $3 million.
Did it?
Yeah. So because there was only, I think, 6 manual cars. So I don't know, but I love it to drive. But again, it becomes that difficult thing with miles, with using it, with but it sits lovely here. Long car, big. It's quite big on the road. But what an engine! What I would probably say, I'd like to take you out in it in the summer. I think it's probably one of the greatest ever engine, and that's why it's going up so much.
Yeah.
That Bitserini, the last Bitserini V12, you see videos I've done, it's just...
And again, as we've been saying, all these cars that don't have the excess technology on them, they don't have the hybrid, the lane assist, the this, the that, the other.
Yeah.
People are going to start looking to those vehicles.
It's the only car where the first 4 or 5 drives, it gave me butterflies.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was on a first date.
Yeah.
And I would get people in there and they'd have the same experience.
Yeah.
Because that engine is virtually bolted just off that seat, so you have like this weird feeling of like power and that you'd never get from like electric or anything. This is like the last of the last.
Yeah. And then the Aston.
Yeah, so again, I wanted to create these CTR Vantages.
Yeah.
And this is originally a black carbon edition car, V12. This is a clear PPF which turns it green, and I think it looks amazing.
Colour's brilliant.
So I was going to create very simple V8 or V12 Aston Martins, mainly black ones, turn them to green, do the suspension, the wheels, Apple CarPlay. Very good cars and coffee car.
Yeah.
And I've done most of the development on that now. And it's just, the problem I've had is that the cars went up a lot since COVID, whatever, they did. So if I was buying the cars, I think they were too high a price, but they've now come right down. So I could buy a car, say a V8 for 28,000, spend 10, make a fantastic car.
And something that nobody else has got either. Something different that handles well.
If you look at JM's video, so this is the best V8 he's ever driven.
Yeah.
You know, Jake Hill helped me with the testing on it. We went to brands, we really enjoyed that. It was more a journey thing. I woke up one morning and said, I'm going to make my own Aston Martin.
Yeah.
And by the afternoon, Aston Martin was there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I do. I love that. And then I just get immersed in it and I just want to make the best one.
Do you think, and again, conversation for another video, had you not had that big Subaru crash,
I wouldn't be here, I don't think.
You wouldn't have the drive that you have now?
I mean, it's not so much a drive, it's more, if you almost die, then you want to do a lot of things. Do you see what I mean? So you have that in you. So for me, when I wake up, I feel like I've got nothing.
Yeah.
So, and I tend to not have any money. I'd keep even my personal accounts like overdrawn. So my mentality is, I'm just a normal person and I'm just doing the same things everyone does. And okay, this is all here, but I don't feel that way. I feel that, you know, I just want to be happy.
Yeah.
You know, in whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
So you're trying to keep your mentality in a way that you think, well, I can only do what I'm doing now and I'm going to be happy in doing it. And that might just be having a coffee in a coffee shop with a thing. I don't have really any interest in being jealous of anyone. I don't really know. I never look at anything in a jealous way. I don't even aspire to be anyone. I just inspire to be my best self, and we all have good days, we all have bad days. Yeah. But even if I have a bad day, I say, well, it's good for you for having the bad day because it could have been worse. Yeah. So it's that has given me a passion, I'd say, and a drive to also help other people as well. But I'm a very focused person, more because of that crash. Because if you think that's it, and the recollection, I can recall that crash every moment still now, and we're going on 24 years. Yeah. And that pushes you. But also, what a time to be able to share things. Yeah. Like, the car event at Hever, I sold it out. Yeah. Like most people have ever had there. People say, and all I wanted was one little kid to go, I enjoyed that. You know what? I saw a Murcielago. Yeah.
And then there's one we missed, which is the Mitsubishi at the back there.
Mitsubishi and the Porsche.
And, there's three we've missed. Lancia.
So,
Evo 6.
Difficult for me because at the time, I'm a Subaru guy. I went and test drove a Mitsubishi and even felt bad.
Really?
Because I thought, oh God, I'm letting Subaru down. But this is unbelievable to drive, and I'd like you to drive this when it's dry. It's a Tommy Makkinen RS. I didn't even know there was an RS. I got a call from a guy who said he was selling an RS. I thought, it's an RS. And then I like that thing of there's 212, and these were the cars that he made his Group A car from. Yep. I started talking to Stuart a bit about them, and he said, Richard, Subaru got one of these over, and the press had it and they crashed it before we could do our testing on it. So it's very lightweight, like everything. There's not glass there, there's like polycarbonate, there's lots of trick things. I think this could be a car that could really appreciate, but I like to drive it. And I really like the look of the Mitsubishi, but I was drawn to Subaru. Yeah. But you would probably go out in this and probably say, that's the best car you've ever driven, with the manual gearbox and the speed of it and the whole sensation. I mean, it's got a proper rolling suspension, a proper exhaust, it's a proper thing, 5-speed. Yeah.
Real world quick. as opposed to just being
no
quick.
ABS,
Yeah.
no track. This is just you on your own
Yeah.
with a Mitsubishi.
Because there's a difference, isn't there, between a car that's very fast and a car that's very fast in real life. Because real life is very different to being on a track.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like when I had the McLarens, because you have to use the lift all the time, and like the Porsche, you're not really in that 22B or this. I don't even know that potholes exist. I don't know if we know there's more potholes because we're now on a 30 profile tyre.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
these are 45 profile,
Yes.
massive things. I don't even see. I was just like, the speed never changes.
Yeah.
You're not braking for something because the tyres don't go on these.
Yeah.
You know.
And then the 22B, that's a special one, isn't it?
Yeah, this is going on. We spoke about cars and having more space. This is going on collecting cars.
Yep.
I've had it all polished, under seal, waxed, everything, and it's special because the guy brought this over from Japan for his home in London. So he come over, he loved the car so much he brought it over. He then sold it to another guy who then sold it to me. And it's brought me lots of opportunities. Evo magazine. So I didn't want to drive the 5,000 mile one.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd buy another one, which is really good. You know, we tend to be buying two of them. But I want to make room, and you know, I've put it on collecting cars. I don't know if it's not the right decision where I'm selling it. It's just I do really like the Subarus, but also it's nice that someone else takes it on.
Yeah.
I actually like that. You know, like we just sold the Focus RS, but original car, and how many, you know, the big Kenwood stereo and everything, but that was factory. I didn't even know. I've never seen a 22B with this. So
Yeah.
and yeah, we'll see what it goes for, and you know, it's just special. I mean, 22Bs have gone up to £500,000. I mean, I sold one for 20,000 back in the day.
Yeah.
But they are really, really special.
Yeah. Everybody seems to have a connection to a fast Subaru.
Yeah.
Even if it's just watching
If
the
they
rally.
hadn't painted, they couldn't put them through the you know, normal Subaru line. It is really special. And Evo's latest video, they were just over the moon with this car.
Yeah. And then the very last one is the GT3.
Yeah, so the GT3 RS is. I'm going to use this on track actually.
Okay.
And I know you might come along to one of the track days soon, but
I'm going to come and do a faster lap than you in a Volvo.
I really like the 991 shape because I thought it was as big as I want my 911 to be. I feel 992 is too big.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite cohesive. This is a YSAT car, so it has carbon on it, carbon roof, lightweight. I took it to Goodwood actually with Dean Macy, and I said I didn't video it. I just thought I just want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And he took it round, loved it, and then something went wrong with the damper, and I didn't really get to have an afternoon driving. But I want to do that again. But he was absolutely in shock of this car, of how good it is. I mean, and this is the thing now. Where do you go? 4 litre, 500 horsepower, the aero, the speed. I mean, sub 7 seconds. It was one of the fastest production Porsches. It was 6:49 lap time, which is incredible. I like the green.
Yeah.
I think it put off a few owners because it had yellow brakes with the green, but I changed them to green.
Okay.
And I put green on the RS. I put a green on here, and then I wouldn't really use it now on the road.
Yeah.
I think it's we've cut 2 tyres. Again, we go back to this thing of like, when do I drive it? And then when I do stuff like this and I like sawn it and that, I think about selling it.
Yeah. So this one might be next for the chop.
I don't know. I just, you know, it's. But then there's not many. I bought it because I think the 991's a really good place to be anyway, and they'd come down in value to a point. I thought, well, I have a feeling in my mind that there's going to be a zero emission fuel, and they're going to be end of the line with this. So this 4 litre finishes, I think, the end of 2025 because of Euro 7.
Yeah.
That's it. There is no more.
Yeah.
Unless they suddenly change everything, which they could do. So I feel these cars are going to hold their value and will be even more appreciated if we can get this fuel. But there is fuel. Harry's Garage is using zero emission. Okay, yeah, it's expensive, but I don't mind that.
Yeah.
If I know it's emission free and I'm still in my 4 litre Porsche. And I think that across, you know, discussions we've had about sort of road tax and different things. If you're only driving a car for, say I do 1,000 miles a year in this car, should I be penalised with £700 of tax?
Or more on some of the newer stuff.
Yeah, so it needs to change in a way that I think maybe the classic car won't be 40 years, it might be 25.
Which is the way it used to be. It was
Is it right?
Labour
Okay,
that...
yeah.
It was Tony Blair changed that, didn't he?
So...
Always used to be 25 years for tax-free, and then they changed it.
But yeah, it's tricky because on, you know, if I wasn't doing the track day stuff, I'm not sure I'd have it.
Yeah.
Because you're always at a realm of, it's just so fast. You know, you always feel like whereas that little Clio, we're revving it, and you know, you feel like you're really driving.
Go on then, now's the moment. You got to choose one.
Oh yeah, he said, yeah. To just drive? This is going to be...
No, they're all going except one. You only get to keep one.
I think I'll keep the Subaru.
The Subaru.
I think because that was the car. I still watch videos of this on YouTube.
Yeah.
Even if it was even Colin McRae one, it'd be even better. But Richard Burns was a hero of mine. Unfortunately, died in that tragic.
So we don't have Richard Burns or Colin McRae with us anymore.
No, and yeah, this to me was the most iconic rally car for me ever. You know, I'm not so much into the Audi Quattro. This is when this first come out, and like the 22B, I was like, I have to, you know. I didn't even know you could buy rally cars.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, I wouldn't even. How do you buy a rally car and run it? But yeah, I'll probably say I was trying to mentally in my mind picture an empty garage then when you said it to me, and I think I'd just say, I think this would have to, and I'd probably drive it.
Yeah.
I'd probably just take it out, learn it more, maybe go on a track, learn it even more.
Because it's astonishing that the rally cars even survive, because once the manufacturer's done with them, unless they're going to mothball them themselves, usually they're sold, or did you say Mitsubishi crushed a lot of theirs?
Well, this has been the problem. I can't seem to get a Group A with that one as the road and rally with the Mitsubishi. So even though I've got that one, they destroyed a lot of the Evo 6s because of the technology they had in the car. Because unfortunately for Subaru, and that when this come out, this was a WRC car, it still wasn't as quick as the Mitsubishi in Group A form.
Right.
So I think Mitsubishi wanted to keep that tech to themselves. So, but you know, one may come up.
Yeah.
One day.
So if you're in the comments and you're selling a Group A Mitsubishi Lancia,
with Tommy Makkinen history.
With Tommy Makkinen history. We're not asking for much. Brilliant. Anything that you'd like to add to the collection other than the Mitsubishi?
No, just thanks for doing the video. It really, it's really nice to do it, and it's nice that people can see that, a huge amount of effort goes into. It's not just choosing the car, it's trying to earn enough money to have the car.
Yeah.
You have to work hard, you have to put in the effort, and then, it's not easy buying cars that appreciate or you don't want to lose money on.
Yeah.
But also the journey is like really nice, You
love the thrill of the chase, don't you? And spotting that next car and...
Well, only because you can't just go and buy them.
No.
It's like, it doesn't matter if I'm sitting here with £1 billion. If there's no Mitsubishis for sale, there is no Mitsubishi, but there might be one, and that could be me that buys them.
And again, that's what's great about your collection. So with most of the cars in here now, it would be quite difficult to go, we'll put another one next to it. Well, it doesn't work. You can't get the mileage, or you can't get the colour, or you can't get, the rally cars particularly. So they're all,
That's why I like with the P1, I said about the shows, because if people come up to me, Richard, I'd like to buy your P1. I said, it's not for sale,
Yeah.
But I really want it, but I don't want to sell it.
Yeah.
And then they go, yeah, but it's the only one. I go, yeah, that's what I know. I know it's the only one. It's good, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to go and have fish and chips. And But
and again, it's, it comes back to like the way you are as a person. It's not about the money, because you've had the offers on this one, that one, the Lamborghini. Yeah. You've had all the offers and gone, nah, it's all right. I like looking at them.
Yeah, and I didn't realise how much someone had offered on this, did I? Because I said, so I had an offer on the car a while ago, and I said, I'm not selling that car. I can't sell it. It's like selling my arm. So I'm not doing it. And then obviously they said that, Richard, do you know how much they offered you? And I said, no. And they said, do you want to know? I said, okay, tell me. It was £1 million.
Yeah.
And then I said, why don't you bloody tell me it's that? But no, I'd probably still have the car.
Yeah. Love it. Thanks for showing us your collection. It's a lot to take in, and when you talk about the cars like that and the connection that you have with them and why they're all here, it's superb. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that when we get the summer again, and I could just take you out in some, you also realise where people want the classic car because of that experience
Yes.
that you just can't get anymore and won't be there in the future.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't have enough Volvos in here though.
There's one outside. I think.
You don't want that one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Cosworth smells brand new. It's great, isn't it?